Hello there, welcome to Manifest Without Money. What are you expecting today? Because whatever you expect, that's exactly what you're going to receive. I'd like to talk to you about forgiveness today. It was just 2 hours ago, and I spoke with one of my clients in Spain. She's a mother of 4 children. She's married, and she is struggling with forgetting some of her past choices. She condemns herself for disfavoring certain people that she's aware of right now. She believes that she took from them something that maybe belonged to them. And because of her desire and her manifestation, she feels as if she took from them. Blessed is the man that doesn't condemn himself. Meaning, when you understand who you are, you don't condemn yourself, you don't punish yourself, you don't feel as if you've done something wrong. I have a lot of authority when I speak about this space, because for the longest time, I lived in a victim mentality. I felt bad if I was doing, I felt bad if I was not doing. No matter how I looked at life, it was always bad. I was always mislabeling it because I was not aware as who was orchestrating everything. I thought it was a power outside of me, and because they weren't listening, or this power, this God outside of me wasn't listening to me, I thought, well, if he's not doing it for me, I am going to do it. And so I would try to manipulate the 3D. But nonetheless, that's a vicious cycle, because what happens is we enter into the space of having to forgive. We think, I am going to ask forgiveness from the other person because I think I did them wrong. The reality is, whatever you manifested up until today, good, bad, or indifferent, however you want to label it, we must learn to put the past behind. Because every time we think about it, even the shameful thing we've done, and if we label it as shameful, we condemn ourselves. Meaning we are bringing that to the surface level mind, and we keep projecting into the future, meaning tomorrow I will be thinking of the same thing I thought about today. How can I be so bad? How can I take away from the other person? How did I do that? And so you perpetually continue. The law of perpetual transmutation states that whatever you hold in the mind comes into the physical. So I had to help my client to forgive herself, not for what she manifested, but forgive herself for condemning herself. Because now she keeps living in this condemnation, this place of guilt and shame every single day. She punishes herself for something that the law said you shouldn't do. You did that out of lack of knowledge and understanding. First of all, because you did not know you created it. But the fact that you created it, now she's aware, well, I created that. Why feel guilty? Why feel shameful? Why punish yourself if it was your desire to begin with? Yes, but the other person was left without the thing. They're not left behind. Every person that you meet and encounter, you're not taken away from anyone. They were ready to let go of the thing that you became the owner of. I'm going to bring you to the story that I've shared a few days ago. Joseph Murphy, when he manifested his house. You see, the lady that died and gave him the ownership, the inheritance, you might say, well, I feel bad that I took from an old lady, right? But because she's dead, we don't think, oh, well, I took from an old lady. We assume that if she's dead, it's a normal thing to do. But we must understand that a person that's dead and they still keep walking, it's the person that is dead in their imagination, or they're not appreciating, or they're not grateful for what they have, and so it was taken from them. Why? Because it's given to the one that has. Meaning my client began to imagine herself with the very thing the other person had, and because of lack of gratitude in that person, they've lost the thing, lost inheritance, lost the ownership. And so through bringing this awareness in her life, I had to help her understand that person, even though they're alive, in their imagination, they're dead. And what does it mean to be dead? Well, they're not appreciating the thing that they have. They're not grateful for it. And so what you're not grateful for, you are going to lose. So for my client right now, I had to help her to forgive herself for condemning herself, but not forgive herself for receiving her manifestation, for her desire. Never be guilty. Never shame yourself for desiring something. Because when you have a desire, it's saying someone is not appreciating it. It's coming into your life. Don't worry about it. That's what your desire says. It says somebody's about to give up their rights and you're going to inherit it. That's what happens with, I was going to say Eddie Murphy. I don't know why I was going to say Eddie Murphy, but Joseph Murphy. That's how he inherited the house of the old lady. And she died, and that's how he inherited, because it's as if to say she was dead, but physically she was dead. But before she died, she projected that house onto his mind. And so she gave the ownership to him before she died. But in the same way, think of everyone around you. Don't think that you're taken away from them. Excuse me. You have to think of it as they are giving up their rights to have them, to own them. And how does one give up their rights? Let's say right now you want something, and I'm not saying something that someone has, but you desire that kind of a thing, that kind of a person. You see, when let's say you meet someone that maybe has gone through a divorce, or maybe they're about to go through a divorce, and you don't know them yet. Just because they have divorced papers, right? You feel that you have the right to be with that person because there's a legal paper, but you don't need a legal physical paper to own anything or be with anyone. Why is that? Because the moment the other person does not appreciate their money, their car, their spouse, their things, their position, it's going to be taken away, because the one that has more will be given, but the one that doesn't have, even that which he has will be taken away. And so when we lose appreciation and gratitude and thankfulness for what we want, we lose it, we give it away. Either we know it or we don't. So I had to bring my client into the realization and understanding that because you entered into the possession of her riches, there's no reason for you to feel guilty. There's no reason for you to feel condemned, because she gave her rights away. That means rightfully, through lack of appreciation and gratitude, she gave that away. Lack says lack. Lack of gratitude is lack of awareness. So when you're not aware as to what it is you have, you're giving it away. If you're not appreciating what you have, you're saying, I don't want it. That's why gratitude is very, very important. And so I had to change her mind and say, you need to look at it as gratitude. First of all, the awareness that you're the God of your creation, you create. Then forgive yourself for condemning yourself for something that you didn't do wrong. And thirdly, learn to gratitude so you can hold on to what you have. Otherwise, the very thing that you've entered into possession of will be taken away. So don't be guilty for what you desire. Don't assume the person you took it from or it came from, they're in lack of it. They gave their rights away. Remember the attraction. One gives it away, the other one receives it. That's the giving and receiving. That's another way of looking at it. Okay? Somebody's ready to give it and you're ready to receive it. But if you put yourself in alignment with your desire and always gratituding for it before it shows up, you're saying, come on in, I'm welcoming you in. I want you all for myself. I want that house for myself. That's how you welcome it in. That's step number 5 in our 6 steps of creation and manifestation program, Manifest Without Money. You're welcoming in your desire. And in fact, I teach that gratitude is not saying thank you. Gratitude is just enveloping yourself into beginning to daydream and begin to talk about that, and to talk about him, talk about her, talk about the bank account, talk about the house. That is welcoming it in, or gratitude, right? So you welcoming it in and you gratitude for it as if it's already in your life. And that's what speeds up the manifestation. So forgiveness in this instance has to be done towards herself, to understand the law that says, blessed is the man that doesn't condemn himself. To be blessed is to put yourself apart. Put yourself apart from this situation. Set yourself apart. Pull yourself out of the situation and look at it with the right, fresh eyes, that you've done nothing wrong. One was ready to give and you were ready to receive. That's it. Transfer of energy. Lack of gratitude says, I don't want it. Okay, then it's looking for someone to receive it. And you picked up the thoughts and you say, oh yeah, I would like to have that. Because this lady in Joseph Mercer's story, she was ready to go, to be gone. And she said, I'm ready to give it all away. And Joseph Murphy said, well, I'm ready to receive it all in. They were within each other. The desire contains within itself everything that's necessary. She had a desire to give away, he had a desire to receive. Everybody has desires. Even you lacking gratitude, that's considered a desire. I don't desire to gratitude, therefore I am choosing not to, therefore I'm choosing to give away. Right? It's still a choice, it's still a desire. But you're getting the other end of the law, the punishment or the reward. And sometimes people wake up and say, well, I wish I didn't have that. I wish I didn't lose. I wish I didn't do that. Or I regret saying that, doing that to my SP. So I want you to think about it in this way now. You gave them away because of your lack of gratitude and appreciation. You see, it's not a matter of appreciating them, but it's appreciating you and saying, I feel worthy to have this person in my life. Or they should feel honored and worthy that I am in their life, rather. But it goes both ways. You gratitude for them, and in the process, they gratitude for you, right? Because what you put out comes back to you. What Joseph Murphy put out, it was coming back to him. He put out a thought, a seed, an idea, an affirmation with imagination, and it came back into physical form. And so in the same way, when you gratitude for your partner, you're putting out into the physical form a new being. They become someone new. That's why now when we are trying to attract an SP, we must do the work that we were supposed to do and didn't do. Now we have to go back and work at it. And the work is not done in the physical, the work is done mentally. We go into the secret storage in the darkness where nobody can see, and what you do in the dark will be shouted from the rooftop. It will be manifested. And so continue to perfect. Go in the potter's house and perfect that pot. Okay, that's perfecting you. That means I'm perfecting myself. I am not going to think negative about me or my SP. I am going to forgive. Ultimately, it comes down to forgiveness, meaning I'm letting go of what he said or she said, and I'm only going to focus on what it is I want. And what I put out, Joseph Murphy put out an image, an idea of the house, and it had to come back in the same way. Now, if you want to dissolve a relationship that leads to marriage, leads to commitment, you have to remove every little thing out of that. What your heart is saying right now is, I want the perfect relationship that leads to marriage. If you want to have a perfect relationship, eliminate everything negative now, forgive everything. That means harvest the good, let go of the rest, and plant new seeds. Plant new ideas. You want to harvest success, you must plant success. You want to harvest I love you, plant I love you. You want to harvest hugs and kisses, plant hugs and kisses. You want to harvest condemning yourself, think about condemning yourself. So I suggested to my client, stop and think, what would I like to see out there? What would I like my physical eyes to see? What would I like my body to touch? What would I like my mouth to taste? What would I like my ear to hear? Because you're here to experience life, reality, through the five senses. So ask your five senses. Eyes, what would you like to see? Ears, what would you like to hear? Mouth, what would you like to taste? Body, what would you like to touch? What would you like to feel? Ask your five senses. Okay? And when you ask them, you're going to find out that out of the heart comes desires. You know, I would really like to see that. I would really like to eat that. I would like him to say that. I would like him to touch me like that. And build yourself up. When you lift your ideas, your thoughts, these ideas to the point of vision, that means to the point where you begin to see the images, it's done. That image begins to draw onto itself everything necessary. When Joseph Murphy lifted his desire to the point of vision, he asked himself the question, what would I like to do with my life? I would like to have a recording studio where I go up on the 3rd floor and I would have all this equipment, because he went on a train of thought. He never came down. He went up and up and up and up and up and up and up to the point when he said, yeah, that's exactly what I want. He lifted his desire to the point of vision when he began to see all these pictures. But because he allowed himself, he did not condemn himself saying, I'm not worthy, I don't have the money. In the same way, I had to advise my client, you don't condemn yourself because of what you possess right now. What joy is there to life if you have given yourself your desire, but you cannot enjoy it? And so she needed to rise into another level of awareness, which is 7th level of mastery, that says you are the God of your reality. You are the ruler over your circumstances, good, bad, or indifferent. You label them. And so I had to help her realize that her desire was a good desire. That woman's desire was a good desire as well. To her, it felt good to give away, even though you assume she's in lack. I said, that's only your assumption. And as long as you assume that, she's going to feel that way, because you're creating her as if she's in lack, as if she gave something away or you took it away. Legally, I said, you both have done the transaction. It takes two. You've done the transaction. So, because the transaction was done in the spiritual, why would you condemn yourself in the physical? You're supposed to enjoy it in the physical. That's the purpose of life. So forgive yourself for condemning yourself. Forgive yourself for not doing, saying, touching, smelling, kissing, whatever you think you should have done before. Forgive yourself. Don't condemn yourself, but forgive yourself and say, okay, well, now what would I like? What would I like? Be merry at heart. Okay, I forgive myself. I'm going to forget everything I've done wrong. I'm going to forget everything they've done wrong. What would I like right now? Go on that train of thought. Lift that up to the point of vision. Lift your thoughts to the point of vision. And when you get there, because you lifted me up, you lift yourself up. You are going to draw everything that's necessary, everyone and everything. Now that sounds to me like you dominate. That sounds to me like you're in control. That sounds to me like you're the master of your life. That sounds to me like you have authority. That sounds to me like you have power. How much does it cost you to get there? Nothing. Come and buy milk and honey without money. Thus, my name of the channel, Manifest Without Money. It's time we give ourselves the desires of our heart. I will give you the riches hidden in the darkness. That means in the space of your mind when now it seems dark. You just lift up to the point of vision, see it. And if you can't see it, it's yours. It's yours. But see, I've done this mistake in one of my relationships where I have seen what I've wanted. And because what I've wanted came with my partner owned what I've already saw in my imagination, what I wrote in paper about what I wanted in my partner. So these two things came together in him. When I've had it, I felt guilty. Just like my client, I felt guilty. I felt as if I wasn't deserving it. I felt as if it wasn't part of me. And that was for lack of knowledge and understanding of that power that I had, that I can attract anyone. But see, it was through my lack of, through my lack of understanding at the time, now it brings me in the position to help my clients because I understood what I've done wrong. And so now I can help my clients and say, oh, I know exactly what you've done. I know exactly how you're thinking because, yeah, I've been there. Now I can see from the top. I have a different awareness as to what I've gone wrong, what I've done wrong, what I've tried to do to change it. And when I did, if I manipulated the 3D, what happened? When I manipulated the spirit, how that turned out. And now I'm in a position to help other clients because I've done that same mistake. Okay. So forgive yourself. Forgive everything. In fact, what I would suggest is to take up a journal and start writing down all the things that you feel guilty of, all the things that you think negative of the other person. Because the day will come when you will feel guilty because you thought of them in a negative way. Meaning you're going to come to your senses and realization one day and say, if I would have stopped thinking negative of him, I bet you me and him would have been together now. So don't get that far, because you're going to get there. Stop it now. Stop your tracks right now and say, truly, truly, and sincerely, do I want to be with this person? Do I consider them to be worthy of me? Would I love to be in their presence? Would I enjoy and feel life? Would I come alive in their presence? Don't go after manifesting an SP if you don't feel alive, if you don't come alive around them. I've had clients where their partners were depressed, their SP were depressed, and I said, why would you want them back? And if you want to change them, are you willing to put in the work to change them? Right? To recreate them? Oh, well, let me think about it. Well, if you can lift them up to the point of vision of being healthy and wealthy, and I said wealthy, I don't know why, but I guess they go together, but they do go together actually. So when you lift them up to that point of vision of them being healthy, are you attracted to that vision? Because the vision is supposed to pull you and lead you towards it. Are you attracted to that vision? Now they're depressed, you want them, but don't want them because they're depressed. Want them because you can see them better than they are. So recreate them, and things are going to happen, okay? Remember, whatever you put out in the form of vision, if you lift everything to the point of vision, that means to the image, to the clear image, it's yours. It's done. It's yours and it's done. But it all starts with a decision. It all starts with a decision. I was sitting in the restaurant with my partner. It was a high-end fast food restaurant. We were sitting down waiting for our food. And in that place, they were selling shakes, vanilla shakes. While we're waiting for our food, because the smell came, and the way we were sitting in the restaurant, the smell came, and immediately the smell activated, resurrected a picture in my mind, and I saw a white plate with 2 crepes on it and black dots on the crepes. It was interesting. But when I saw that, the smell triggered and resurrected the image, I felt overwhelmed, like it was like a water, like a rainwater, like a bucket of water. It just came over me. I felt overwhelmed, encapsulated, overwhelmed, taken in that vision with everything, my whole body, my whole mind, my whole soul. It was just like in another world. That was a place of vision. That smell allowed me to see clearly a round plate with 2 crepes on it, meaning I could see the details, meaning I didn't see just crepes. Oh yeah, I want crepes. I saw a white plate, crepes, black dots on the crepes. I saw more than one. You see, everything was created for me, put it that way. Everything was created for me. I didn't have to see someone cooking the crepes and he's putting them on the plate and, oh, look, here's the crepes. No, that was vision. I was taken into vision. I've seen it, a glimpse of it, and I came out. But it took over me because I was taken in. I was connected. I became one with it. And all of a sudden I said, I want crepes. Now he looks at me and he says, baby, they don't make crepes here. I don't think they make crepes here. I said, it doesn't matter. I said, I just want crepes. I never spoke to him. I never told him what happened. The next day, 4 hours later, a friend of mine calls me and says, hey, Lumi, you said you're coming tomorrow morning by my house to pick up whatever. Would you stop by the store and pick up a carton of whipped cream? I want to make some crepes in the morning. I was like, what just happened? The next day I walk in the house, there's a round plate, 2 crepes on it with small chocolate chips on it. You see, I'm not sure if he projected that or I projected it, because it was the smell that triggered that image. And given the fact that he called me 4 hours later, that means he received that image. I projected it to him and he thought about me. And so he had to think about me. He had to ask me to bring the carton of milk. He couldn't have asked someone else. He could have gone to the store and get it himself. But what caused him to call me? Because he was part of my vision. He was the one that received my projection. And so what I want to say is that when you lift a desire, and a desire can be triggered by a smell, by a touch, meaning sometimes you can touch a fabric of silk and it could take you back to Greece when you were down the river somewhere, right? And you touched a pillow or something. It could take you there. That means you're lifting that memory to the point of vision once again, which means you are going to experience that. How? You might walk into the store and touch a pillow, and you might not realize in that moment that because you went back into the past and touched the pillow as you were down the river in Greece somewhere, right? You end up touching the same fabric in the store next day. But you can't put the two together. You can't. It's hard for us to do that. But when you lift your desire to the point of vision, meaning the smell triggered in me a certain picture, because the smell of vanilla comes to me, one of the desserts is crepes. And so why crepes? Why that? I don't know, right? Why was it crepes? Why wasn't it vanilla cake? Why wasn't it anything else? I don't know. I really don't know. Could it be that we are, it's not could it be, we are within each other. We are built within each other. The whole world is inside of us. And so when I say I don't know who's going to help me with this, I don't know who's going to do that, the whole world is inside of you. The whole world is listening at your command. I did not have to worry, well, who's going to make my crepes? I don't know. Where am I going to get my crepes from? My physical body didn't have to do that. I allowed someone else. In fact, I dropped the desire. I walked out of the restaurant. I never spoke of it, never thought about it. And that's how we're supposed to let go of that imaginal act. Let go of it so it comes back. There's nothing to be shameful about, nothing to feel guilty about. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel shameful. I don't feel bad that my friend had to wake up in the morning and make the crepes for me. I enjoyed them, even though he did the work, and I just reaped the rewards. You reap what you plant. And reaping, it's easier than having to do the work yourself. But the work has been done, because when you do it inside, when you ask, you receive. When you plant the seed, you're also harvesting. The time of harvest or manifestation will come. And I believe that it was in my releasing of my mouth, and I said, yeah, it doesn't matter if there's no crepes in this restaurant. I want them anyway. Meaning, in spite of the present circumstance that the restaurant doesn't make them, my mind says and my image says, I want them. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. Like, don't tell me what is not. Don't tell me the restaurant doesn't make it. What brought me in that position of authority was the fact that, I'm sorry, but it's too late for you to tell me not to have them, or I can't have them, or it's impossible to have them because they cannot be made here. You see, because I smelled them, I was overtaken by that vision. I just want them now. My mind's made up. I'm sorry. Okay? In fact, you should look out and say, I'm sorry, but I don't care what you say. I'm sorry. Meaning, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you're pitiful towards me. I'm sorry you think I can't get what I want, but I'll get it anyway. I was not defiant. I was decisive, and I said, no, I want them. I just want them. Yeah, but they don't make them, but I want them. But I want what I want. And either you're going to make them or someone else. And eventually, if I have to, I'll make them. But because I rose it to the point of vision, I drew the person to make them for me. Because I put myself in that place to the point of seeing it, I don't have to work for it in the physical. In my program, Manifest Without Money, I bring out every week one manifestation story. I break it down so that I can show you consistently how I manifest. These are not spiritual gifts. These are rewards. It's the Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. People want to give to you what you want. Not because they cannot wait, they put their feet up and they're thinking, oh, who can I give this money to? Who should I give this money to? Oh, I have so much money, I just want to give it all away. That's not what it's implying. It's implying that it's the Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's saying, I know people that right now don't appreciate what they have. They're ready to give it away, and I'm looking at somebody to receive that. Would you please appreciate it? Would you please be grateful? Would you please bring your desire to the point of vision, because I'm ready to give it to you? Would you accept your desire because it's ready to be given to you? Will you just allow yourself to think only about what it is you want? Put aside unforgiveness and shame and guilt and worry, whatever you label yourself such as. Because I'm ready to give it to you. I know people that are ready right now. I can see them that are ready. You can't, but he can, right? The spirit, this energy knows. I know who's ready to release it. They're just about to let go. They're just about, you know, that person that wants to sell that apartment you're dreaming of, they're just about to let go of it. In fact, they're willing to let go of it at $100,000 less. Would you please just say that and decide that's what I want? Because they're so ready to give it away. They're so ready. You don't know their circumstance, but I do. You don't know. And we don't know, and we're not supposed to know. All this energy is asking you, all this desire is asking you, what it's seeking you is to accept it, because it's been seeking you and it wants to come into your life. Would you allow yourself to lift that to the point of vision? Because when you do, it's done. All right? So it's not about the feeling. It's about the feeling of allowing, that feeling of allowing, that feeling of relief you're looking for. Allow yourself to do that, to lift the vision, to lift the desire to the point of vision, and you're going to feel the relief. Because your desire, it is what you love. It wouldn't be a desire. It wouldn't be something burning inside of you unless it was a desire. So love is there. But there's times when you truly feel love. Sometimes you truly feel love. But know this, the law does not look at what you love or what you don't love. If you hate or you don't hate, if you're skinny or you're tall, if you're in this country or that country. The law is not a respecter of people, right? It doesn't say because you're a little old lady and you drove 90 miles down the road, you're not going to be punished by the same law that everybody is subjected under. No, it doesn't matter your age. Little lady, you should have drove under the 60 miles an hour, but you put the metal to the pedal or the pedal to the metal and you drove 90 miles an hour. You're going to receive the same punishment. Built within the law, you receive what comes with that disobedience. And so in the same way, don't always focus on the feeling. Know that making a decision, a committed decision, that's enough as well. It's a made up mind. I'm sorry, but don't be sorry for me. Don't feel pity for me because I want crepes and I can't get them, because I know I'll get them. According to the law, it was lifted to the point of vision. I'm going to get them. So be careful what you ask for. That means be careful what you imagine, because it's going to come. Okay? So to forgive is to let go of worst case imaginations. Stop imagining worst case scenarios, because condemnation is imagining worst case scenarios for you and the other person. None. Some was ready to give, some is ready to receive. That's the exchange of energy. There's no work. There's no work. Someone is ready to give. Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to believe that you're ready to receive? In my program for business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, I've developed a program, SRCW, Seal, Release, Collect Wealth. We go and collect the wealth. We don't fight for it. You know, in business, there's competition. There's no competition. And so we're using the same principles in manifestation, because it's one mind, right, that attracts anything we want. So Stay assured. Be calm. Allow your heart to settle in the knowing and trusting of this law. Okay? Know that the law operates at all times. Either you like it or you don't, either for the good or the bad. And lift that image to the point of vision, lift the desire to the point of vision, and it is done. It's done. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And every worker is worthy of his reward. Remember, there's major desires that you want in your life, specific homes, but start with one. Travel in many countries, start with one. Your focus should not be on what's out there. Your focus should be on what's in here only. As I've coached my client this morning, or 2-3 hours ago, I said, your purpose for your existence only is to experience your desires. That means put yourself into the place of receiving constantly. That's why my channel here, I ask, what are you expecting? Because whatever you expect, you're going to receive. Place yourself into the place of receiving only. Only. That means keep projecting only what it is you want to receive. Only what it is you want. Only what it is you want. And then prepare to receive it. Welcome it in with gratitude. Welcome it in. Say, yes, please come in. Just please come in. This would be so wonderful. I could see myself by the fireplace. I could see myself on the beach. I could see myself on that boat right now. I could see it. I could see him. He's holding a champagne. I'm holding a champagne glass. I could see that. I could see his smile. I could see how he's talking to his friends. I could see how he introduces me to his friends. I don't know. This is something that I've been imagining lately. Don't know why. But I see myself on a big boat and just being there and being introduced as, she's my wife. She's my wife. She's my wife. My lovely wife. The woman of my dreams. I'm lifting that desire to the point of vision. And I'm building it. I see the two of us. Now I have to go and see other people there and see what else happens on the boat. Get a full view of the whole experience. I keep creating, I keep building that picture. Sometimes it happens in a vision, right? A split of a second like that. But many times we create it. We build that desire. Well, what else would I like to see on that boat? Who else would I like to be there? How many people should be there? What kind of food I would like to eat there? Ask your 5 senses. What would I like? How would I like to be dressed? How would I like to stand? Would I like to have my nails done? How would my hair look? What would I wear? You create. And that's what we teach in the program Manifest Without Money. To create and manifest, or go deep within and then bring it out. That's the process. The journey within, and then how you bring it out. Create and manifest. Create by going deep, manifest by coming out, bringing it out. So, what are you imagining? Forgive yourself so you can dream big. And you will receive everything that you want. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. With much gratitude, I'll see you next time.